Give a big round of the hand. Give a big round. Give a big round. Give a big round. Give a big round. Give a big round of the hand. Give a big round. Give a big round. Big round. Give a big round. Give a big.
We could have homes on separate coasts, go dive in Greece with squids. Could have been so bleeping rich, but instead we had kids. They won't smile for a photo, they won't eat the food we choose. That's why we're heading to the Parents' Lounge to drown ourselves in booze. Every day we're more exhausted, we haven't slept in years. They hit me in the nuts so bad, my eyes filled up with tears. And yes, we'd like to fake our death and go off of the grids, but the truth is we are softies and we truly love our kids. So join us every Tuesday night to laugh at all our pain. Evening in the Parents' Lounge is the cure to staying sane.
Oh. What the hell's happening?
Hey, I don't know. Welcome everybody to a fantastic episode of the Parents' Lounge. I'm very excited. I think we all needed a little outburst tonight. But here's what's funny is
I love to laugh, long and loud and clear.
Jamie Kaler, Jason Gowan, Justin Ruppel, and someone we don't hear from. We don't all of a sudden. It's like she's on the run from the law, and she just pops up every Tuesday at 7 to go, hey, I'm alive. Everybody, really quick, check in. Kate Mulligan with a very nice hairdo going tonight. I love it.
I don't know what's going on with it, but bless.
No, I think it's fantastic. It's very it's got a 60s Woodstock vibe. If it had a daisy in it or something and you were nude, we'd be like, oh, she's at Woodstock.
Yeah. Well, also you would be like, ma'am, could you please put some clothes on?
That's how I feel when I have my clothes off. Honestly, as you get older, that starts to go away. Isn't it weird how the older you get, the more comfortable you are with your body?
Oh yeah, they've never looked worse, and it's the most naked I'll ever be in my life.
Hold on. The older we get, the more comfortable we are with our body?
Yeah, absolutely true.
Who the hell? You guys are more comfortable now than you were? I hate it more than I hated it in the beginning.
I am so much more to the point where I've like posted, I posted some video of me in the bath or something, and my friends are like, "Dude, what is happening?" And I go, "You just reach an age where you're like, dude, it's gone. I don't care anymore."
I'm one insult away from just walking around with a bag on my head.
But the rest of you will be naked, and yet you would cover your face. Is that what you're telling me? You're like,
yeah, I mean, I got the goods. I'll show them off. Whatever.
That should be our new T-shirt. I got the goods.
What is the age this happens? Because I thought in my 40s, I thought that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Justin. Though, to be clear, like it's not like, oh boy, I know what a great body I have. I know I've never looked worse, and I've also never cared less. It's like I've met myself right. Right. Never looked worse. Never cared less. So here I am. I'm right at neutral, baby.
I was absolutely shredded in my 20s. I'll have to pull out some jump rope videos of me with just shredded. But I was so pasty white with freckles that I could never take my shirt off. I just was ashamed of my white, and and also had a nice red fur covering, which is a terrible look for humans. It's terrible. And all of a sudden, you get old and out of shape and a little saggy, and you're like, yeah, I don't care anymore, dude.
Yeah, I'm done.
Bro, this is I'm finding this out for the first time. 18 to 26, I couldn't keep my shirt on. It was off. I was saluting all the time. I was flexing. I have at least 100 pictures of me in front of my car like that. You know what I mean?
But to be
Shirt.
fair, you spent so much money grooming the hair on your body that you really needed to show it off.
You're
Yeah.
damn right. And now I'm like, I won't even take my shirt off at the beach. There's no way.
I don't
You
even
know,
take it
my-
off in the shower. I'm a never nude.
I talked to my never knew. He's not. He's
I
no, he,
never knew. It's like an incel. It's just,
There are dozens of us, Justin.
I
Dozens.
choose to never be nude.
Also, Jason, it's not considered never nude if it's just you always wear a hat.
Also, no, I don't take anything off.
dude. When back in those days, if like a woman wanted to leave the lights on during sex, I had to be like I wore a miner's helmet that just illuminated them, and then I was in the dark like a troll under the bridge, like dancing at a Pet Shop Boys concert. It was. She'd go, "Hey, can you put some lights on?" I'd go, "Click," and I'd have the little miner's helmet that would just light her up.
You just
Because I was
blind her, but you can see what's going on.
Well, here's the thing: I'm bioluminescent. I
Yeah.
actually create. So a lot of times when I shoot like low budget films, they save a lot of money because they don't need to light me. I light myself. I'm like that fish at the bottom of the Marianas Trench that has the little light bulb in the front of it. Vicky
Yeah.
Stone, Auburn White here.
Yeah. Listen, guys, I feel like we've buried the lead here.
Mm.
The three of you just spent the past however many days all together doing shows. How was it, you guys?
Well, first of all,
Okay,
it-
so
you
it's a
know,
solid
without
medium.
you,
Sounds like it was a solid medium.
without Mulligan energy, it was as good as it could be.
Right.
But it actually was a super fun show, and
Very fun.
and it was really well, listen, any 3 days away from my children is like, it's like I won the lottery. So yeah, it's super fun though. And
alcohol.
actually we had a great turnout. We, for those of you who don't know, we tour occasionally and do this third year in a row at Sayre, Pennsylvania, and we help this local theater. And so all these sponsors chip in and they pay basically our fee. And then all the house money goes to save this wonderful theater. And I think they raised like $15,000 over the weekend for the theater. And so the whole community came out. It was super fun. Super fun. Yeah.
It was
It was
beyond
funny,
super fun.
Mulligan. We
I
ended
was
up riffing on stage so much that we were trying to figure out the list of material to do. And we all listed like all these bits and never touched
Friday
half of
night,
it.
I did three.
I know.
Three
Mhm.
of them.
Yeah, I didn't get past 3. The 3 bits I put down.
Yeah.
We did a total of nine.
Jay,
nine
hey,
bits.
by the way, Mulligan, Jay check came. By the way, Jay was loving it. He was great to be here. I'm afraid his wife Deb got dragged into something, a 4.5-hour drive that I don't think she was. Jay, what's the deal from Deb? Did she have a wonderful time, or was she like, "What are you dragging us to?"
Wait,
Deb
I'm sorry,
had-
4.5-hour drive. We don't mean one way, do we?
Yes, we mean one way.
Yes, we do.
And he
Yes, we
stayed
do.
overnight. They stayed overnight, and then
fun.
I think they made it a day event and went away. But it was a long drive for them.
She
Yeah.
always looked to me like she was. You know when you take your kids to a birthday party and like you don't want to be there, but your kid's having a really good time. It was that.
It was very much like
Okay,
that.
okay,
That's
okay,
kind
okay,
of
Well,
funny.
she woke up with a stomach bug, is what Jay just said. She woke up
Oh
with a stomach bug.
no!
She had a great time, and we woke up with a stomach bug. Does that mean hungover? Is that a
And the
stomach bug?
No.
And the bug's name was Jeff Goldblum. I'm in your
Yes.
tummy, chum chum.
Oh my god!
Rar,
So
rar, rar.
he basically
It's
morphed
infected my
into.
brain. I'm constantly just yes.
Yeah, Mulligan, you would have let if you were there, you would have been turned into Jeff Goldblum by the end of it. Taylor and Gowan have a perfect Goldblum now because of just listening to me.
Yes.
Well, it's very
Yes.
funny. I do feel like your voice, sometimes when you're just talking, Dustin, I'll be like, okay, that's why like, or you've become Jeff Goldblum, or you were already a sneeze away from him to begin with. Who's to
Here's
say
the-
which way it is?
Justin, tell her our
It's-
premise for your movie.
Oh,
Becoming
so
Jeff Goldblum.
yeah. So we've all seen The Fly, right? The Ben Cronenberg film. I think we should.
David Cronenberg, but it's
David,
a
Ben.
Cronenberg all the same. Ben.
I was quoting a comic. Ben. If you heard me there, congratulations. You were just related to a Oscar-winning director, David Cronenberg. I'm just gonna do a whole YouTube video series of me slowly becoming Jeff Goldblum, like he became The Fly.
Yes.
I have a very serious thing I need to talk about. apparently, I might be becoming Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah.
Might be. Yes. Well, interestingly enough, most of my life, or at least my adult life, everybody thought I sounded like Steve Martin. So it's good news that I'm morphing away.
I hear that now that you said it.
He does a
Well,
Steve Martin.
Well, here's my Steve Martin. It's what happens.
Oh wait,
Everybody
I'm gonna close
says
my eyes
that.
for this.
Everybody says that. And if I get excited, I sound like him. If I get a little excited, I sound a lot like Jeff. I sound Steve Martin, and nobody notices it. Nobody notices it unless I get a little bit uppity with them.
Spot on. It was great. So Mulligan, it was super fun. Here, you know what does suck though? What the trip
Sorry,
is?
you
Is
think
the
I've
actual
recovered
trip.
from Steve Martin? I haven't. Go ahead, Jamie. Sorry, go ahead.
Steve Martin. By the way, Jay Check, I'm sure your wife is very happy that you're telling everyone that she pooped and barfed her way across the entire state of Pennsylvania. And by the way, when you poop and barf, you know where you want to be? On the Continental Highway system. It's usually, for me, I find it the best place to. Have you? I actually threw up on a freeway before. Have you ever thrown up on a freeway?
What am I, alive or dead? Yeah, of course. What are we talking about?
I was on the 10 heading back towards Santa Monica. I had eaten, and by the way, last time I ever ate Subway. This was like, I don't know, 15 years ago. And obviously not one of our sponsors. And you know when you feel food poisoning coming on, but you haven't been drinking, and so your brain's not really cognizant of the fact that you're about to vomit. And you're like, I feel. And the sweat starts coming down, and I'm driving on the 10, and I'm like, I'm going to make it home. No. And I wasn't even on the right side of the freeway. I was in the left lane, to the point where I had to pull into the center divider, roll the window down, and puked all down the side of my car as cars were like, I thought I was going to get killed. I was like power heaving out the door.
What was the sandwich?
So,
you remember?
I don't know, but I remember the tomato. For some reason, the tomato was haunting. It's still like there should be like a horror film, like
it's like a wet tomato. That's how you know it's bad, when it's a wet tomato.
You know when it's like when they slice the tomato at Subway, and you're like, it's almost gelatinous in its.
I don't know who gets tomatoes on Subway sandwiches. I don't know who's doing that.
I don't.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
don't even get Subway sandwiches anymore.
Asking for it in the first place, but okay. I
It's
guess you didn't reap what you sowed.
Let's check in with Mulligan, because we had, travel. The travel was absolutely we almost got yes. We almost got trapped in Chicago, to the point where they gave us rooms in Chicago. They said, here's a room and here's a flight on Monday to get back. And then we went, it never works out, but we went standby on some late flight. And we walked up, like, waiting for them to go, no. And the guy was like, yeah, I got you. You're all set. And he gave us seats. And I was like, what's happening?
Did you play the My Boys card?
You got
spotted. Tell me about him getting spotted. I love when he gets spotted.
You guys, this is so great. We were in Chicago, right? We had Nuts on Clark.
Nuts on Clark. Oh, God.
Nuts on Clark.
And O'Brien's. There's an O'Brien's in there.
Now, hold on a second. If you're talking about Nuts on Clark, I hope you got the Chicago mix.
I didn't actually get it. I just like to say Nuts on Clark.
How dare you?
Sarah said Subway, not, just so we're clear, not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor.
Apparently
will never be a sponsor. Mm-hmm. Jay says Dandy's restrooms were quite nice. So good job, Dandy's.
Also,
Narcolepsy says he got to hit up every unrest stop.
It is unholy unrests now. All right, here's the deal. Let me tell you something. This is so much fun, you guys. Yes. We were at Chicago O'Hare, and we're waiting for our flight to board, and everybody's congregating around the door, and we had just picked up our tickets from standby, right? Mm-hmm. So they just called us over, and Jamie and I were like, I can't believe we got on this flight. I did not think we were going to get on this flight. And so we're holding the tickets, and this Asian woman in her 50s comes up and looks at us.
Target demo, by the way.
I was going to say.
Right.
Asian woman in their 50s.
Wheelhouse.
Right. And she comes up and this face. And I'm like, oh, she's going to ask us for our tickets because this seems like that's what I thought too. It's like the scene in Home Alone. You know, like I have to get home to my kid. He's home alone.
You want my watch? What do you want? What do you want? My watch?
It's a Casio.
19 D King 66. You guys were
There
awesome
you go.
Saturday. Thank you very
Oh,
much.
thank
Thanks
you
for coming.
so much, you guys.
Anyway,
So we're there. It's there, and she comes up and she's made this face. And I was like, oh boy, here it comes. And she goes, and she points at Jamie and she goes, "Are you the guy from television?"
Not the guy from television.
And I go, and Jamie says, well,
actually, wow, I'm getting impersonated. I like it.
He goes,
it's pretty spot on.
He goes, it depends on what TV show you want. And she goes, this one. And she holds up a screenshot of him on Tacoma FD. And it's him going, right?
So his regular face.
Yes, actually,
it's not the sniper
smiling.
Chimes in.
Yeah.
and I go, that's him. That is him. And he goes, yeah, that is me. And she looks over to her son and goes, it's him. I told you. And like, he comes over, he's in a Dodgers shirt. And he's just like, I just got into Tacoma FD. I have binge watched everything. I absolutely love this show. And Jamie's like,
Thanks, man.
you got any projects going on? You got anything going on?
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah,
That's cool.
Anyway,
well, both of my episodes, I was in the last 2 episodes of the season, and they aired on Thursday night. So we were traveling, so I didn't, and we're on strike, so I couldn't really like tell everyone. I'm like,
it,
you know, it stinks when you're like, I'm on television, man.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. My kid's principal, the principal, I dropped the kids off at in Carline the other day, and she holds up her phone. And it was a screenshot of me on Will and Grace with Gene Wilder.
Yeah, it was. With who?
Look who I saw this weekend.
With who were you with on that?
Jeff Goldblum. Yes.
It comes full circle, round around and upside down.
Did you just? I just heard something, and maybe I misheard it. Jamie, did you say you're on Will and Grace with Gene Wilder?
He played my boss on Will and Grace. One of my very first TV shows I ever did. Gene Wilder was the boss.
I'm not well. I'm not well,
dude. I thought I was going to get fired because 2 days into it, I couldn't act. Every time I looked at him, I was like, "That's Willy Wonka." I couldn't get my lines out. I had to like look in the mirror and scream at myself.
Was he magic?
Was he what?
Was he magic?
Oh, he was. You know, he
don't mean magic. I don't mean magic because, like, I think he's such a. I think he's a great. I think he's probably the best actor of our time.
He was very quiet. He was the first one on set.
Yeah.
He was very nice and very generous, but he had been sick, so he hadn't worked in a few years, and they brought him back. I think he'd had cancer before that, and I'll tell you one crazy story that I noticed about Gene Wilder. And you know, it's like when you see people in real life, sometimes you go, "Oh, they're acting, but they're also that's kind of who they are." In that weird way. Like nobody's a really great actor. Like everyone used to give me grief and go, "You're just playing yourself." I go, "You play yourself when they yell action." It's actually, you know, it's not hard, but it's also not easy. And so here's what he did. He had, we give him a birthday card as the boss in the show. He's one of my former students' uncle. Oh, that's amazing. Oh, dude, he was the best. And so he, in the show, he, Will and I give him the card. Here's a birthday card. And he holds it up and he goes, and he tears it right in front of our face and walks away. And so I see him prepping for the scene or whatever. And he asks one of the PAs, he goes, "Hey, could you get me a stack of cards?" And I watched him. He sat in a corner with a stack of cards and he tore each card up in a different way. He held the card up, said the line, and tore it in half. And he put that card down. And then he picked up a second card and he said the line and then tore it once and tore it twice and dropped it. Then he did a third card where he said the line and he tore little piece, little piece, little piece, little piece. He tore 15 cards in totally different ways to figure out what was the funniest way
Wow.
to tear the card up.
Did
It
he
was
find
that
it?
meticulous.
What a-
He
what
did.
a
Oh,
pro.
he did. He did.
Of course he did. What a
He has
that's what
to
I
say
needed
something
to know.
about like I forget how it goes, but he's like he says something about like, oh, and I'm taking that front office or something, and then Will goes, but that's Gary's office, and he goes, oh, that's right, Gary, I need to talk to you. I need to talk to you or something. He's gonna fire me. Is basically what he's saying. It was really like the whole weekend though. I was like, that's Gene Wilder. I couldn't. Well, I was a Bobby Cannavale was on with me. Lily Tomlin did the show with me. Jeff Goldblum played my boss. Harry Connick Jr. I mean, it was when you were on Will and Grace, it was like nuts, dude. I was like, oh, this is crazy too. Minnie Driver did one episode. This is such a weird, crazy story. And I'd flown my mom out to come see me shoot Will and Grace. I was so proud of my mom, such a TV fanatic. But my parent, my mom's crazy and, doesn't know. My sister's up in the audience because my sister came out with her. And at some point, my sister, every time I spoke or anything, you can hear her yell out of the audience. And so the director comes over to me with James Burrows. He's like, hey, you gotta tell your sister to shut up. It's wrecking the tape. And I go to tell her, I go, hey, listen, you're gonna get me fired. You have to shut your mouth. And she's like, no, it's great. Everyone's loving it. I go, nobody's loving it. Nobody's loving what you're doing. She's laughing at weird places. It totally sticks out. The whole thing's weird. God. So at the end of the show, they have a little party back in the writer's room, and they invite me. It's a big deal. I've done like 2 or 3 episodes at this point. I'm kind of like, they're kind of accepting me in the group, and they invite me in. And I'm like, I go, but my mom's with me. And they go, bring her. And in the back of my head, I'm like, don't bring your mother into the writer's room. So I bring my mother into I go, okay. I only do like 1 episode a season. I don't want to blow it. So I bring my mother and my sister into the writer's room with like these monster stars. And my mother walks right up to Minnie Driver in the writer's room and goes, you were in the movie with the monkey heart. Oh, you in the monkey heart movie. I can't. And she's like saying the craziest things to Minnie Driver. And I'm like, like melting down. And Minnie Driver's like,
oh, yeah,
get this woman away from me. Get this woman away from me. Oh. And then I was talking to some of the writers were totally cool. They were like, dude, everyone's mom's like that. Don't worry about it.
That's what I was going to say, Kayla. Like, you want to tell a mom story. It's like, well, everybody's got that mom who's like that. Like, Brad Pitt has a mom who probably had no chill around somebody. You know what I mean? Like, oh my God.
The best is I host the red carpet for the SAG Awards. I'm on My Boys at the time, so they buy me a tux and they stick me on a red carpet to interview people.
Okay, you don't understand how tenses work because you're saying it like it's something you currently do. You said, so I work. You mean you did? Okay, host.
I did it. I did it 2 years. They put me in a suit. I had to interview Jeremy Irons, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, Will Smith, Eddie Murphy, Ricky Gervais. Crazy. It's crazy. And I'm interviewing people. And it's insane. And my mother is standing next to me on the red carpet. I bought her a dress. I put her on the red carpet. I shot a Monk. If you don't know this, I was a bad guy on Monk. And Tony Shalhoub, he shoots me and kills me at the end of the episode. I have the squibs go off on my chest.
Sometimes I watch it when I need to feel better.
So I'm interviewing people and I see my mom I look over my shoulder and my mom's walking across the red carpet away from me, like into where all the stars are walking on the red carpet. And all of a sudden I look over her shoulder and Tony Shalhoub's coming at my mother. And my mother goes right to Tony Shalhoub, reaches out, grabs both of his shoulders and goes, you shot my son. That's all she says to him. She goes, you shot my son. And Tony Shalhoub's on the red carpet at the SAG Awards. And this crazy old woman who's like, I think she's like maybe late 80s at the time, says, you shot my son. And, he's like losing it. And so I come running over to explain. I go, no, I did an episode. You shot me. It's kind of okay. And then my sister comes up. And to make everything better, Tony Shalhoub's, I forget what his wife's name is now. She's an Brooke Adams. Brooke, I think.
Good memory.
I think it's Brooke Adams. But my wife named my sister calls her by a different name. she's like, "Oh, you're Jacqueline Bisset or something. I can't believe you're married to Jacqueline Bisset." And she's like, "I'm Brooke Adams." And then all of a sudden, all these ushers came in and were like, "Okay, this is over." Drags us apart. Oh my god, I love my mother so much, but every time I brought her out here to like be part of the Hollywood life, it just went awry.
Narcolepsy had a great.
What's he saying?
He said, "Coming eventually, the guy from television on one of the channels this fall, maybe,
or maybe any season,
maybe, perhaps."
I forget all those crazy stories. It is weird, like when they recognized me at the airport. I mean, it happens sometimes with my boys, but people usually
happy.
They go, "I know you from something."
I was so happy.
That was super. I was happy. It warms my heart, especially for Tacoma FD. I'm so proud of that show. I mean, those guys are 4 seasons in, and I don't know if anyone out there has watched it, but
I did get recognized too, but they asked me if I sold them gasoline in Glendale.
My mother today informed me how fetching Justin Ruppel was, which I did not enjoy having to hear. I was like, okay. I spent an entire weekend on stage with him. I never noticed. I never noticed other women fawning over him. I didn't notice any of that. I didn't notice it. Sorry,
he is beautiful, but I will tell you, Kate Mulligan, there is something about Justin Ruppel that you would never in a million years guess. A very private part of his body is adorned in a mysterious way that is it's shocking, isn't it, Jason?
I have a front tramp stamp, Kate.
I am having
tramp stamp
such a hard time understanding you. Something is going wrong with my internet, or I'm the one that's having internet problem, right? No one else is having it.
No, it's just you. Are your kids on their iPads?
All I heard was there was something about Justin Ruppel's body that you would never guess, and I was like, "There's something about Justin Ruppel's body."
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to tell you.
He has a decoration on his front side, his front bottom, that is mind-boggling in its entirety.
He's got the Amari Stoudemire Black Jesus on his neck.
No. Close.
Lower.
Close to his.
Go
close.
lower.
It's on his. That's on his lower thigh.
You know the V that goes down to on mob. I have. You know how women get a tramp stamp on the back. You know what a tramp stamp is, Kate? Can you hear it? No, she can't hear you. You can't hear.
We'll have to cut her out and come back in.
Yeah, jump out and come back in, Mulligan.
We'll fix this in post.
Give it a mulligan.
I still to this day, I thought about it and I was like, I don't know if there's any explanation that makes any sense whatsoever for what you've done.
No, Sarah, I'm not going to show it.
You're going to have to show it.
I'm sitting on my bed. I can't show it. All right.
Yeah, you can stand up. Get up on your knees and show people listen. You paid a lot of money for this thing.
It was $350. That was true. Hold on.
Back in that time, that's like $15,000 now.
Hold on. There it is. It's like
you got to get it above your dude, and then it goes down.
It goes too far down. We're gonna lose standards and practices.
It's the sub pop.
I love
show it. I love that Sarah's like, just show it.
Just show it already. Here's the deal. It's sub pop. That's so good, Narc. It was a poem to myself that I wrote because I thought you missed it, Kate. You timed out perfectly. That is so hilarious.
Sarah says you're gonna lose the sponsors. We just lost Subway because of that tactic.
Okay, so there's a tat.
They gave us a second chance from the tomato business.
I love Sarah too. She says you'll lose the sponsors.
I actually want this to become a game. Are you telling me there's a tattoo on the front of your body, but
below my waist,
below your waist,
below my belt buckle, and just above the nubbins?
So it looks.
Why did they see this?
They didn't see all of it. I
saw enough.
$20 says it's a portrait of Leonard Nimoy.
My guess is when you're naked, it looks like an elephant with a crown.
When you can see here's what's so funny. It looks like
tattoo.
No, it's not a Basquiat. Basquiat. No, it's like it looks like there's an explosion coming from my pants.
Okay.
See? It was. Now here's what you can't see.
Okay.
is it's an infinity symbol
Mhm.
with
Yes, yes, yes,
with,
yes,
with
yes.
2 lightning bolts piercing it, and then a poem that goes around the outside of it. And the best part is I wrote the poem when I was 16.
Hmm.
And the guy, when I went to get my tattoo, he's like, so where do you want to put your tattoo? And I showed him, I'm like, right there. And he goes, I'm not going to be that close to your nuts
Oh,
this whole time.
okay.
Hmm.
And I was like, well, that's where I want it. And so he's like, oh, it's 360 now. I'm like, okay, fine.
Yeah.
So
You're like,
Travis,
get going,
Travis
buddy.
Gilbert says, I've had that explosion from the pants a time or two. I never decided to tattoo it on me, though. Travis,
yeah,
that's
you know,
exactly what I thought. I thought the exact same thing as Travis just said. I was like,
Here-
explosion out of your pants. Yeah.
here, remember when we were talking about body image at the beginning of this? That
Yeah,
was
yeah.
my ego back in 18, 19, 20. I was like, I'm going to be shredded forever. And
Yeah.
the tattoo, it's like in a triangle shape. So it's like pointing at downwards. And as I got older and picked up weight, it just looked like someone stuck a straw in there and just inflated it, just that part. So now it just looks like a muffin exploding over my belly.
Dude, okay. To bring it back to parenting for 1 second, how would everybody feel if their child did that to their body? I would be
Oh.
so upset if my child chose to do that to their
2
body.
of my 3, I wouldn't be surprised at all.
Dude, you
Oh.
should check on your kids because 1 or 2 of them definitely have the 666 under their hair. There's no 2 ways about it.
You guys want to hear a good story about how good my mother is? At 16, my dad and I rebelled, and I got a tattoo on my shoulder. It's my initials, and we got matching tattoos when I was 16. So I had to get a signature from my parent, one parent, that said I could get the tattoo. And my mother, this is 1998. She goes to the bank and she's like, if you agree not to get a tattoo, and she goes, close your eyes and put your hands out. And she got $1,000 in $1 bills. And I never 15, 16. I was 15 because I was turning 16. And she put $1,000 bills in my hand. And she goes, that's not to get the tattoo. And I was like, but Mom, I can't take this to high school and tell the kids who I told I was getting a tattoo that my mommy gave me $1,000 not to get the tattoo. It's not going to play that way.
It does
she
if,
goes-
if you have any strength to character. Yeah, no, you just tell people I'm not doing that. You don't have to
but
give in and do things.
yeah, I'm 15, dum-dum. There's no way I'm
What crazy person at 15 says, you know what I want on my body for the rest of my life? Yeah, that's what. So you were a ding dong in the first place.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Still the ding dong that got the tattoo above his junk.
Dude,
Clearly the same guy.
Day, Mulligan, you got any tattoos? Mulligan's muted. You're muted, Mulligan.
Mulligan, you're muted.
Sorry, I was gonna say not a single one. I have
No.
not a single one. I'm one of the only people of my generation that doesn't have a tattoo because like that is like the 80s. I'm 82. What are you, Ruppel? 83?
83.
I'm
So-
literally 82. I was in the Navy for 5 years, and I went with guys to get tattoos all the time, and I was like, man, I'm good. I don't want a tattoo.
Yeah.
I could see
I
you
am going
not
to get
having a
one
tattoo.
day, though, Mulligan. I think I'm going to get the kids at some point. I mean, at this point,
No.
you know, like when you
He's
say
waiting to see if he
the
likes
rest of
them.
my life, it's like, you know, that's like a year or two. It's not that big of a deal. So, you know, I don't, it's not like when I was 20, there's nothing, when I was younger, there was nothing where I was like, this is going to be the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Nothing. There was
You know
not
what I
one
think
thing.
You know what I think your kids are gonna love more than their names being tattooed on your body, Kaylor? Like a really fucking good inheritance. Sorry, I dropped the F-bomb. Like just leave them some money. You know what I mean? They're gonna love that more.
Well, I think they will have a great inheritance, but that's probably because my wife's going to marry rich the second time. is my
Yeah, I'm
guess.
excited for her. Ruppel,
Look,
She'll
Yeah.
do well.
looking for a third.
He knows a lot of doctors, so maybe. I think number 2, she's gonna. I'm just a starter husband for my wife. I'm just a starter kid.
a hell of a starter.
Yeah, I was
hell
gonna
of a start.
say, where do you go from there?
You're a star.
Also, Ruffle,
Straight
I don't think
now.
you know this. I tell this story all the time, and Jason loves it. Kaylor hates it. Kaylor, who asked you out back in the MySpace days? Who asked you out?
Actually, I believe it was
me.
Came
No.
And Ruffle, do you know what I was told? Do you know what I was told?
Too blonde?
I was too young for him.
And I
You know
didn't
how
date
old
Kate.
his wife is?
I didn't date young women named Kate. Until I did.
It was the kindest possible way. It was the kindest way he could say, I've never been less interested in anything in my life. Was that you're too young for me, and his wife's younger than me.
It had nothing to do with age. Here's the truth. Here's the God's honest truth. You were a comic. I don't date.
And I
comics.
already slept with half the people we were performing with.
That's
Hold on.
true.
That is
I
a
didn't know that
thing.
though. I didn't really know that at the time. I don't think.
That is a thing. Comics, or in general, comics, dating comics, right? Weird. Yes.
I mean,
yeah, I didn't date. I really didn't date comics at all. I didn't even date women from my sketch comedy from sketch groups. I honestly didn't date girls from shows either. I don't know. I don't know what it was.
you didn't sleep with any of the comics?
No.
Not really.
I slept with all the comics.
I know you did. I know. That's a girl comic thing. I will tell you though. Hey, God, you were doing. You know what he was doing at the show, Mulligan? You know who he impersonated at the show? He does a spot on Gerard Butler. Did you know that? Let me hear Gerard Butler as.
I'll be the judge of that.
All right, let's see how your Gerard Butler is.
Mulligan, it's great to be here. Have you ever been to Berk? I'll take you over my knee and Berk you there.
It's pretty. Listen, it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
You want to?
Could you try this? Could you try this? Pretend like you're making a phone call up to someone's hotel room. Spitball in here in Albuquerque.
Yeah, just winging it. So
and just winging it.
Pick a
and
city,
say,
Albuquerque.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick up the phone, and then you say to me, like, let's pretend it's like 2007, okay? And just like pretend like you're in just spitballing. You're in Albuquerque.
Apropos of nothing.
Let's say you're
working on a movie.
Let's say you're working on a movie.
Make it easy. You're working on a movie.
Okay.
And I'm going to, when my phone rings, it's going to be this Chicago Bears Super Bowl shuffle. Just spitballing here again, not real. And then I need you to say the line, I can't get your legs out of my mind. Go ahead.
Let's see how that works.
Ring, ring.
We are the Bears shuffling crew, shuffling on down, doing it for you. Worse. Oh my God. Hello. Hello. Hello.
Hi.
Hello. Hello.
Is this Kate Mulligan? Kate, I can't get the other legs.
Oh, hold on. Let me just really quick hang up on my mother.
You were cutting out. We got to hear that one a little better. You were cutting out on that one.
I can't get the other legs out of my mind. They've been running. They were up on my shoulders earlier. They're great there.
Guys, I'm 1 in a million. Quite literally, I'm 1 in a million.
You like nothing but stars, Mully. You want your Kaylor and.
Well, it's funny because days before that, this was my era, honey. Days before that, there was a guy that Kaylor and I used to hang out with that I hooked up with.
Oh,
and then we had his brother on our show. And I did not realize.
I know who that is.
Oh my God, I know who it is now.
Well, I'm trying to
Jeff
figure it out.
Foxworthy. No, I'm just kidding.
It was Ben Cronenberg, wasn't it?
No, but it was a funny thing that I did not realize that the guest, I sent something in the private chat, not realizing that when the guy signs on, he
can read the private chat.
You guys know, before we start, I effed his brother.
Oh, that's right. Oh, I know who it is now. Yeah.
Oh,
and that's when Peyton says, he can see that, right?
Yeah. Oh, he doesn't care. I know his brother very well, and
All right. Let me ask.
Hey, let's just swat that category away and move on to the next one.
Yeah.
As parents now, do you guys, when you watch the TVs, would you watch the movies? Do you guys do the game from Friends, since Jamie was on that show, where you can have the list of 5 celebrities that you're allowed to pursue if you ever meet them?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's actually been agreed upon, but mine are Harry Styles, far like front runner. Yeah, Ruppel, you're even on to Harry Styles.
I'm in with Harry Styles.
Pretty. He is pretty.
Taika Waititi
Ooh,
is like so far up there.
Interesting draw, an interesting play.
I mean, he's a salted, salt and pepper daddy right there, man. That guy, I love his accent too.
And he's super
I'd even
funny
let
and
Rita
talented.
come.
Yeah.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I love his
He
voice.
gets some damage done too. He's working his way through town, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Two at once, Taika.
Oh, well, now he's married to her. I don't know.
Hi, Sarah. Love you.
Oh.
Thanks again for the weekend. Sarah runs
Sarah,
the
we
theater,
love
and
you.
she's
We
the
love you,
best.
Sarah.
Wait,
Yeah,
you got
she
to
was-
meet that baby, I bet.
Tell Tony
had us step in a
what's up
limo.
for me. Tell your boy Tony what's up.
And then I was gonna say the one, but I will tell you right now that Dickie, and I'm sure every single one of you agrees with this. If Dickie Murphy ever runs into Susan Sarandon from Bull Durham, he's without question allowed.
What about 85-year-old Susan Sarandon?
Nope, not allowed. But
I would take Susan
his list
Sarandon
away
from
from
Pretty
him?
Baby, or I'd even Bull Durham it, but definitely from Pretty Baby, or Rocky Horror Picture Show. Oh,
Ooh.
Susan Sarandon. Yeah.
Susan Sarandon
With
oh
little
my
Tim
God.
Curry, Justin.
Jeez.
just walked in to bring me another beer.
Oh, very nice.
That's my wife.
Who drinks another beer?
What?
Thank you, Jason.
Dickie met some of my students. For those of you who don't know, I have students who are special ed, and one of them, because we talked about this last week, there's an honesty that just comes from them.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them met him the other day and goes, "You look like her dad." Poor guy. Dickie's like, I guess I love their honesty. And then a different student today was like, Miss Kate, remember your husband? Yeah, I said, yeah. He said, how much older is he than you? And I said, oh, he's not. He's 1981. He's October 18th, actually. He's when Justin Ruppel's going to be in Issaquah.
That's right.
I said, you might know that. And he's like, oh, but he looks so much older.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I guess that's possible. He goes, why do you think he has such gray hair? And I was like, I probably have gray hair too, but I dye it blonde, honey. We just don't.
That's crazy, Kate. I get that all the time too with my kids and my wife. But the truth is, I am that much older.
Yeah.
So they're not making stuff up. It's
Nobody. That's the thing is like what Dickie will actually say about you is that he'll be like, how dare that man look that good?
Yeah, this is very true. This is
internally, I'm dying. Trust me. It's the portrait of Dorian Gray.
I was going to say you're reverse Dorian Gray.
I'm reverse Dorian Gray.
Every
picture of me, I look awfully and old, but
because I look like a giant baby, my wife she gets questioned if she's stealing kids from nursery schools.
Yeah. I don't know.
Jason had the pleasure of having his wife at the show. And she apparently loves seeing him be funny on stage because it's such a turn on.
Justin's like, she also loved seeing me be funny at the show.
Mm-hmm.
Anything I can do to help, Jay?
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, buddy.
Well, wait, hold on.
Enjoy it, Jason. That goes away, by the way. Eventually,
I'm
like they're really like I met my wife and brought her to a show, and it was like gold and magic. And now all she does is finish shows and goes, "I have notes." That's.
Molly,
I'm very curious. You guys all saw each other in person for the first time this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well,
obviously, Jamie and Jason have seen each other.
Yeah.
But what I imagine, so Kaylor, actually Justin, is Kaylor taller than you expected, or is he just as tall as you expected?
Well, I've always known I've known Kaylor for 10 years, but he is taller.
Oh, you have? I'm sorry.
Yeah, we used to do Federal Barn.
Jamie's
all together.
Yeah, Jamie's very tall. He's shockingly tall.
Shockingly tall.
6'1". Yeah. No butt.
No butt.
I
No
have
butt.
all the butt for all of us. No buttocks at all.
Yeah. No
buttocks.
Ooh.
Jason was shorter than I thought.
Yes. Yes.
Jason Shorter.
Yes.
Uh,
But a good-looking fella, a very good-looking fella.
Oh, let me tell you
Don't
something.
you try to butter me up.
No. Kate, I found this out. I've got 2 partners. This man does the dirty more than I do.
Oh,
So he clearly wins in all the categories.
This
He
guy.
he has fun stuff too, like stuff that you didn't think your parents were ever doing. And
Yeah.
I don't.
Yes.
Mine not as exciting as old JJ Galway, huh?
For a guy who gets winded tying his shoes, I do okay.
Yeah,
I imagine Ruppel's tall, but I also
No.
imagine Ruppel that you're not tall.
5'10".
5'10",
5'10". He's
5'11".
smaller than
Look,
exactly where I thought he was. Like,
thank you. 5'11" with shoes.
Okay.
With shoes. And both of my partners are so Katie is my height exactly.
Okay.
Everybody wants to say she's taller, and Claire is like 1 inch shorter than me. So I'm about that national American like high average 5'10", 5'11".
Can I tell you how great his partners are? They took us to the airport, and then they picked us up Sunday night, LAX, midnight.
No.
Took them, and it was so crowded. It took them 45 minutes just to get around the loop. I was like, "Oh my god, dude! You guys, they were the." That's when you know you got a good one when they pick you up from the airport.
They are incredible. I don't know how I deserve that. Not
Kate
at
used to pick me up from the airport before we got married.
Different Kate, not me.
Now she doesn't even say goodbye when I'm on the road.
Immediately was like, nope, not I. I've never done that.
Not me.
Now she doesn't even know I'm when I'm on the road. She'll be like, text me, and she goes, "Hey, are you at the store? Can you pick up something?" I go, "I'm in Pennsylvania. Did you?"
Guess it's good you didn't date any comedians.
That's true. Didn't.
So we were worried about backlash with the throuple. Remember, we kind of talked about
We were.
all day, every day since the show. I've had wives tell me how now all of their husbands want thruples here.
It was crazy. I have to really question.
Love it.
So we're doing a parenting show. Mm-hmm. Justin doesn't have kids, but he fits somehow perfectly into it. But at one point, I don't think we talked about the thruple on the Friday show.
We did not.
We glanced over it.
We were talking about a lot on the Friday show because it just kept going.
During the Saturday show, we did a completely different show, just totally riffing. And I remember saying something to the audience like, not only does he not have kids, and then you turned and looked at me like, are we doing this? Are we doing this? I go, he's got 2 wives. And the audience is like, it was pretty funny.
I was terrified.
Like, no, let me explain.
I was like, oh my God, we've done so well up until this point, and now, oh no, but I also have to say, I was schnoshed-faced.
Dude, we had Trevor on stage, and I kept going, Trevor, you don't have to make poisonous drinks. And we were passing them out to the audience, and they were like straight. He would make it for like 25 minutes. Like we'd see him flame an orange, and then you would taste it. You go, "This is pure Scotch, dude. What are you doing?"
Yeah,
Jason,
it was crazy.
Jason, my girls showed me a video of me doing the Soldier Boy and comparing it to the Young Jock, and they were like, "That's how we knew you were gone. You're not with us." And I'm like,
So we FaceTimed them, and they
Young
called
Jock,
me and Jamie bad influences.
Well, listen, I'm a terrible influence. I mean, nobody. I know that. Yeah,
dude, your liver is actually a cask.
Dude, yeah. I haven't gone hard like that in a long time, but the problem is we go to the show and after, and then it's like
it gets.
I'm not great on the road. I can only go on the road so much because unfortunately
we clocked it. Taylor had drank for like 9 straight hours or something.
I had a drink in my hand for like during the show, then hours after the show.
Last year we drank, but I don't feel like we got drunk during the show, and then we got wastado after. But that was also I mixed with California candy.
Yeah.
Oh, I had no California candy. I just had whatever Trevor was putting in me. And by the way, shout out to Tito's Handmade Vodka. Tito's Handmade Vodka. So smooth, so tasty. You don't even know you're above the legal limit.
Yeah, it was. And honestly, Subway not a sponsor. Tito is possible. Well, I'll take a Tito sponsorship deal at any time.
I got to tell you that it is the only drink I actually enjoy because it is smooth. But we were having doubles of like whiskey and everything, and I ended up divulging to the entire audience how I sleep in between everybody.
That was funny. So they sleep three in a bed, and he's monkey in the middle.
Yeah.
And when he has to pee in the middle of the night,
I have to lay down and then sit up like vampire, and then I kind of like bounce on my butt towards the front of the bed. And there's always
because, by the way, bouncing your way off the bed is not going to wake anybody up.
Not going to wake anybody up.
We have a Tempur-Pedic. You don't feel it. You just, as you can see now, there's no bounce.
There's no blankets on? That's the other
There's
question.
blankets, but I'm going underneath.
I just love picturing you like Nandor from What We Do in the Shadows. Like,
yeah, just
Guillermo.
Hold on a second. I love What We Do in the Shadows so much.
It's the best show.
So good.
I'm sorry.
Oh my God,
If any of you had been on it, I would have
It's
actually.
just the way we talk in Tucson, Arizona.
Jackie Daytona.
That's Matt Berry.
Matt Berry.
Yes.
Holy cow.
Jackie Daytona. It's the best.
Oh,
I hear you, Clem Fandango.
It's a FYI. I'm the sister to the woman who's waiting for her boyfriend to retire.
They were together 21 years.
I
Yeah.
remember that.
There was a woman in the crowd who had been dating her significant other for 21 years, and she's waiting to see if she's going to marry him till after he retires.
Oh.
Because she doesn't know if she can live with him after he retires because he'll be around the house too much. So, but they've dated for 21 years, and she wasn't joking. I think
it's a great mental trick to play on yourself, because now she's been monogamous with a person for 21 years, and if she was somebody that was scared by the title of marriage, she's basically and effectively been married without doing it. So yeah, keep tricking yourself however you need to. Yeah, you should stick with them till he retires.
Narcolep, we are going to try to make this for Tempur-Pedic as well. Why is this not an ad for Tempur-Pedic? Hi, are you trying not to wake your two partners?
Our buddy Matt Knudsen has the best Tempur-Pedic joke. He's done our show as well. He's one of my buds, and he goes, "We got a Tempur-Pedic mattress because my wife likes to drink wine while I bounce a bowling ball in bed." Crazy.
I love how you did a Phil Hartman right there.
Did I do Phil Hartman?
You know what I like about Tempur-Pedic mattresses? I like to have sex with my wife and then bounce a bowling ball.
That was the whole weekend, Mulligan. Honestly, at some point I was like, he's like, I go, all right, we would just yell out Jeff Bridges or
come on.
Listen, it would be annoying if this man didn't love being pimped out, but he does. Like,
I do.
It's a great. It's like there are people who would be like, no.
I know.
This is like, I can only imagine how fun that was.
You know why? Because growing up, no one ever asked for this.
Oh God, it's the no. For the record, if I had a fourth of your skill, I would be like, do you guys know I also do? Like, I would be begging you guys to be like, can you guys just find a way to work in Laura Dern from Jurassic Park? Like, I would just be begging you guys. Like,
it made it so easy. I felt guilty. I was at one point I was like, well, I could just get up and leave the stage for like a 20 minutes and just come back.
Yeah.
and just yell out, Tom Hanks.
Baseball.
Which we did do.
Oh my God.
So cold. It was like so funny.
I was telling him how to do.
So hopefully we'll end up doing more, but we'll see.
Oh, well, we'll do more. We'll do. I love. By the way, Jamie is the consummate, father who is going. I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see.
Because as we went to the airport, he goes, the flight's going to get delayed. I guarantee it. I'm like, what is with the attitude? Nothing ever bad happens to me on an airline. I have been flying for 3 years straight. I've had over 600 flights, and I've not missed a single damn flight. And he goes, I tell you, it's going to be bad. Something bad's going to happen. And sure enough, he said it. And like the prognosticator he is, we got delayed. Now, Not only did it
You
get
meet
delayed,
Taylor at the airport, just sitting with his pillow neck on.
he got a picture of me and I got a picture of him. It was pretty good.
There's not I traveling with Kaylor was a very special time in my life.
It's a good time.
Who knew that an age gap would make a difference?
It does. It truly does.
was
Listen, I
such
did you a
a
favor, Mulligan.
curmudgeon.
I liked you so much that I didn't. There's nothing worse than I have to be with me 24/7. I know how hard it is. There's no reason anyone else should have to suffer like that.
I literally get into the airport. I'm like, I'm gonna go get a drink, and he's like, I guess I'll come with you. And he just sat there with his pillow on his neck in the Loteria JetBlue terminal while I drank a beer. And I was like, you okay? But like, and then he had California candy for me. And then he texted his wife saying, I've got your little treat for you.
And that after that, I changed your name to Mulligan in my phone. Really quick, can we hear Jeff Bridges read out Kate's private message about the brother?
Before we start the podcast, I just want to let all of you know I shook this guy's brother. I played the old hide the winky. I put his Polish sausage into my pierogi, if you know what I mean. My flesh wallet has accompanied.
My flesh wallet. Oh man,
just accurate description.
That's funnier than Better Off Ted. Anyway, I was going to.
At least it was Ted, honey. At least it was Ted.
She's better off Ted.
I'm better off Ted.
Fudge. Fudge and fudge. Oh my God.
Good Hartman. Love Phil Hartman. He made
Kate slept with
news radio so great.
Matthew. I just love saying Matthew.
Do you do Stephen Root? He's kind of
Stephen Root. So I only do Stephen Root's character from Office Space.
I was about to say from Office Space.
Yeah.
The stapler. The stapler.
Mm-hmm. I was told I could listen to the radio at a reasonable volume. And I saw the squirrels and they were married.
He was a news radio. That's how great. Oh my God. I've met him a couple times, and every time I'm actually more starstruck by him than like major stars, because you're like, dude, is there anything you can't do?
I was just thinking, I was trying to think, do I love him the most in Veep or do I love him the most in Get Out? And then I'm like, oh, who can bridge that gap? That's like
in Barry. He steals the last season of Barry.
That's what I'm saying.
Then I just watched him in No Country for Old Men. He's like the dude is
Stephen Root is up there with Alan Tudyk
and Philip Seymour Hoffman.
And Philip Seymour Hoffman is people you're like, I forgot you're that effing good. Yeah. I also think the same thing of Gary Cole.
Yes.
Oh, Gary Cole.
That's who I was thinking of from Veep.
When I read for Will and Grace, that was the prototype. I went in and they go, I read it once and I actually left. I was heading to my car and I thought for sure I feel like a crush. And they ran out and chased me down, brought me back in and go, can you do it like Gary Cole from Office Space? And you had to go, yeah. And so I ended up doing it a little like Gary Cole.
What's happening? Yeah. I'm gonna need you to come in on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
We've let a whole bunch of people go, playing a little catch up.
Dude, and he can do drama. That guy is like one of the greats.
Again, he's just I love the character actors that are, they're in everything, like we just had with Mindy last week, who when you see their name on a roll, when you see it ahead of time, you're like, oh, it's going to be a good movie, because not only do they add to it for their taste in movies, their taste in TV. You're like, shit,
dude, I had Stephen Tobolowsky come to my house and do my old podcast on the Dadlands.
Oh,
and you're like, you mean Needle Nose Ned from Groundhog Day? And the leader of the white supremacists from Mississippi Burning? That dude, you're like,
talk about the level of capability. Can play a serial killer and also Ned Ryerson. Like
crazy. It's so good.
His story
was so funny because I talked to him and I said, people must, because he was on Californication at the time. He's so funny. And he goes, dude, I had he basically told me he auditioned for everything he ever did. I think Stephen Root said something like that too. Where you're like, you mean people don't just call and offer you parts? He's like, no, because no, I had to because I basically have read for everything I've ever made, and I was like, wow, brutal.
That breaks my heart because literally those people are they're the ones who I thought if I could just get there, then it'll be okay. And they even have to audition.
That's what I thought too. After certain things, I was like, do I have to audition? And they're like, no, you do for literally everything. I know.
Bullshit.
My gents, I'm so sorry. My son's yelling from his room, I've gotta go poo-poo. And it's 8 o'clock.
Oh, that's right. It's a parenting show.
Yeah.
We're gonna let Mulligan go.
I have to go. I'm so sorry to do this.
We love you, Mulligan. I'm so glad you jumped in.
Hey, I'm so happy for how well the show went, you guys. I'm only jealous that I didn't get to see Kaler with his pillow around his neck. That's all I care.
I'll send you a picture.
And I'll tell you what, I bet he was very reasonable when the flight was delayed / almost canceled. Okay, great. Bye.
Bye.
Actually, I took it pretty well, didn't I, Justin?
You know what? I will say this, Jay. He was as pessimistic and as he says realistic as he is.
I am.
When he walked up to the counter, I was expecting, all right, here's the deal. We made a big fucking, whatever. Sorry.
Oh, no. Customer service, Jamie, is a whole other animal.
It's a beast. That's how good of an actor
he was funny and charismatic and sweet. And like, he got us, the guy stood there and was like, and I kept going, I'm so sorry, because he kept looking at different options. And this guy behind the counter, Gabriel, shout out to Gabriel. Gabriel's like, no, we got it. It's okay. I'm here for you. And I'm like, dude, this is Kaler's magic. This is why you get acting magic.
I talked to my kids a lot about that. Listen, you do it until you reach a point where you know you're not gonna get it, and then you let loose. But right up to the last second, when you go, this still might work out, then it's charm and sweet and kind. And I tell my kids that all the time because I see people, and we saw people at the airport. That one woman who walked up, she goes, I'm number 9 on the standby list. Why the blank was I even here or something? I go, you're definitely not getting on now. The guy's no one's going out of the way to help you.
She was calling American Airlines to complain because she walked up and was not upgraded to first class. And I was like, oh, and I pointed to Jamie like, this lady is about to be a problem.
She a real problem here, Frankie.
Real problem. Meanwhile, we got treated like kings, and it's probably just because he had to come after.
We made them laugh, and you were the same. You were doing your impressions, and the guy Gabriel was rolling.
This one woman was coming up. He's like, he gets on the phone, Jason. He goes, can I get some backup up here? There's 30 people in line. We need some backup. And walking down the most empty corridor to the most empty airport I've ever seen in my life, Scranton Wilkes-Barre. This woman is sauntering up like this. And Jamie goes, I think she's actually walking backwards.
No one could walk that slow.
It's like she is literally
it's actually harder to walk that. She was walking so slow. And he goes, that's the woman he goes, it's up to her and I. One of us is going to be the supervisor. And so then as soon as she got there, both of us were like, well, Gabe, you're supervisor. You got my vote. There's no way she's getting our vote. And he was right.
So she looks over like, did you just tell these random strangers that
and then he jumped us to the top of the standby list and said 1 and 2 on the standby list. I was standby. I didn't even get a middle seat. They put me I was on the window. I was like, holy cow, it couldn't have worked.
I was in the middle. You were in the Scranton airport, which is where Kevin's mom in Home Alone also was stranded.
Is that right?
No.
I didn't know that.
Yes, that's where she meets.
I wish you'd have said that. We didn't know that. Dude, when we showed up, we literally were the only 2 people in the entire airport. There was nobody else in the airport, and we look up on the board, there's only 3 flights out. And the first flight was for like 3.5 hours.
To Chicago. Oh my God. Are you kidding me?
No, he says Scranton when she asks him,
hilarious.
Where am I? Scranton.
Oh, when she meets, right. I have gone to this. Where am I? Scranton. And that's when by the way, that scene that John Candy does, where he comes up and he's like, hi, Vic, whatever. Canoga shooters? No, the polka. that is my go-to when people are like, "What's it like being in show business?" I was like, "Have you ever seen that scene in Home Alone where she goes, 'Oh, you're a musician?'" He's like, "Yeah. We were big in we're a number of big. Oh no, Sheboygan, right? Sheboygan, right?" And he's trying to get her to. You didn't know polka, 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 save me polka, the twist polka. She's like, "No, what are you talking about?" That is every. Someone's like, "I know you from somewhere." Oh, is it from the one episode of Scorpion in 2014 where I play no? Hold on. Let me see if this voice recognizes it. Ah! That was my scene in Spider-Man. No, that's not it. It could. I was on an episode of you were my waiter. Yes.
That's so funny.
Right.
Listen, hey, we have to wrap here in a second, but I do want to address very quickly. Freddie B says, "Thanks for still doing the show today. I needed a distraction from the horrible last couple of days in my world." We deliberately chose not to talk about it much, but it's funny because my wife, as I was, I mean, everyone's just in a weird place and it's a weird mood. And it's, it's one of those times you hold your kids close and be like, "Oh, yeah.
I wanted to show everybody what Freddie made and sent me. He made me a TPL key holder, and it's like
No way.
It's amazing. Freddie's our resident.
It's so freaking great, Freddie. I love
it. Pops. Is that? I think it's built by Pops.
Right, on
Instagram and stuff. And you should see it because he has the videos of him making these things, and we're so thankful. And mine's still up there. That's mine right there on the with the wine holder.
I love it.
Frame. And so anyway, I mean, I just want to address it for a minute or two because I remember. I think I had a show like the week of 9/11. Everything got canceled or whatever. And it's one of those times where you're like, listen, we need some human contact, some touch, but we also realize that it's a somber time. And, it's just a good reminder to about family and about, what's important in life. So yeah, I don't want to drag it out too much, but I'm thankful that a lot of people tuned in tonight because we all kind of needed a little bit of an escape from reality. I felt like.
Brother, that's my job in my family was to do just that. When anybody was sad in my family, my job was sending the clown. And if there's anything in this world that is worth doing, in my life, it is to make sure if the world or the community that we're in or my family needs a pick-me-up, the clown comes out. And we will be your clowns, everybody. I don't care what kind of day you have. If your kids are having a hard time, if your family's having a hard time, I promise you, if there is a physical way I can make it and we can make it here, we will do that as much as we possibly can because this is what it brings us up just as much. We're wired backwards. Yeah. We're the ones who.
And this was a communal. This is a communal thing that happened to everybody. But last week we dealt with autism with Mindy's son and with Jason's kids being nonverbal, and we've talked many times, and we definitely have a gallows sense of humor. I always have had a dark sense of humor because you have to laugh at life in general because you just have to because otherwise it can be really painful at times. So thank you to everybody for tuning in. Let's pump your gig. You're out. Where are you next, Justin?
So next week, October 18th, I'm at the. It took me 17 years to book a gig at the very first place that booked me, Vino Bella wine restaurant in Issaquah, Washington, literally on my home street. So I get to go home in front of all the people who brought me up and literally encouraged me to do this career 17 years ago. We get to go back and do a show right there. So we're going to go and do that on the 18th. I'm very excited.
Wow. I'm actually doing a fundraiser for Maui. This is how close tragedies are starting to accumulate on top of people. So I got asked to do a Maui at Wilshire Country Club on Thursday night that I'm going to do. And that was already booked long before this one. So I'm sure next month will be the next fundraiser. And then
you're taking me to golf there, right?
And we're going golfing. I will be tending bar at my child's school this weekend for Harvest Festival. So reach out to me privately and I will share where I'll be tending bar. We do a fundraiser for my kid's school, and it's so funny. They're like, "Jamie, you're gonna be in charge of the bar." Yeah, that feels right. That's my strength. That's about right.
Yeah.
And I have to. I think I'm hosting the live auction. Those are my two jobs.
Jay, could you tell me what's happening in your world this week as Fozzie Bear?
Well, my kids got accepted to a brand new school for ABA therapy. Ah!
I love you so much.
And your oldest son finished second in a soccer tournament.
Yeah, he got second in the shootout.
He's still doing it. I love the show. I love you people.
I know, man.
Thank you so much for having me every single time.
Dude. I feel bad. I feel it's like every week
I
I'm
will
like,
be your Huckleberry.
Oh yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
You should. Oh, here's what. Say goodbye. Say goodbye to everyone as Sam Elliott, and we'll leave it at that.
The dust has settled on this beautiful Tuesday evening, and the boys and girl at the Parents Lounge say good night and salutations.
All right, listen, thank you for everybody for tuning in. If you're listening to this on iTunes, definitely write a review, subscribe, follow. But also come catch us live every Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Facebook and Twitch, and I believe Twitter and other places, because the live's where it's at. We love having your comments. You can hear us kind of reading them out and responding to people, and especially when we have big name celebrities, which we do often. And it's great to have people kind of chime in and chat with them a bit. Anything else, gentlemen? That's all I got. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you guys next time here in the Parents Lounge.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.